Hey guys, Dustin here after 7 years, I guess. I want to start by saying I didn't expect my two SolidWorks videos I made during college to get as many views as they have when I decided to leave them up after I graduated, but here we are. The purpose of this video is going to be to go over some simple mechanics and theory behind the parts due to the multiple questions about tutorials for individual parts I've been getting. And while I do appreciate the confidence in my ability and the views on the channel I barely look at, I do not have plans to post more SolidWorks content other than this video on this channel due to mainly my time and the fact that the license I had for this program came with my schooling. So Iowa State has that license, uh, and my new job uses Creo Parametric. So access to that's a little iffy. I don't plan on pirating it, and I don't plan on buying another license. So I guess apologies there for those who are really hoping for me to get deep into the tutorials. But said and done, we're gonna get into the very informal part. It's gonna sound just like my other two videos. I've gotten older, but I haven't really gotten any wiser. So really, what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna scroll through, and I'll try to explain to the best of my ability how I was doing these things. And for those that actually are working in SolidWorks and at least have a simple grasp on some of the mechanics in this program, I think I have every confidence that you can make these parts. They're very simple. A lot of boss extrudes and cut extrudes and lofts and cut lofts, and you can see here the fillets. I'm not doing anything crazy. Revolve features. Making profiles. Just simple's best. When you see complex geometry, just think that a lot of simple mechanics went into making that complex geometry. Don't try to think there's a really complex way to make it. There might be like an 8-step process, but it uses just like basic extrudes and cuts and things like that just to kind of get it just right. I mean, this isn't a job for those that are in classes, right? I mean, you're doing this, you're trying to make it look good, and then if you're trying to, hand in a 2D uh, drawing as well that calls out dimensions and things like that, do not forget that you can manually adjust those values. I know there are plenty of professors out there that do not check whether or not you have edited dimensions. They're just there to look at your 3D, see if there's any interference, and then check your 2Ds for dimensions. I mean, we're living in a time where they try to do as little work as possible. So, um, yeah. Anyway, so for this first part, this base for this faucet, I mean, you can see the boss extrude, the cut, the lofts. The lofts here for this center part, I know that for a fact. If you use two profiles, a larger circle on the bottom and a bigger one at the top, you can make this feature extremely easily by starting with a full featured loft, which is really just a two profile extrude. Um, if I had to guess, I created two planes, one offset from each other. So I made the base plane here with a circle with whatever dimension the circle is, and then I made another plane. I know there's a mechanic in here. I just can't think of it now. I mean, this has been forever. I've been out of school quite a while now. But you can make a 3D plane that is invisible, and you can create a circle on that as well, whatever distance you need, and then you end up making this, flared out cylinder that's completely filled. And then when you have that, you can just go back and do a cut loft to whatever, wall thickness you need. And that's really the hardest part about this part right here. Everything else is like a basic extrude. I mean, you can make this like a one solid shape and just start cutting away. Think of it almost like a CNC machine a little bit. You start with the base material, the really thick stuff, and then you just cut away with the cut extrude. And then the fillets, for those that are actually anywhere near comprehending even the basic functions of SolidWorks, the fillet should be super simple. The handles for this, I remember being a huge pain, mainly due to this handle piece here. But really, once you start, if you make the main body, and you work from there, use center lines to line up this handle with the center of your hole here, and then extrude down and cut away. If this inner piece here that I have my mouse over kind of bothers you, that is not flush with the outside of the cylinder, You know, you can add material back, just recopy your base extrude for this outer profile for this geometry here, and it'll close that gap up real nice. Like I said, a lot of simple mechanics to make these things. I mean, you could even do a centerline profile for this inner piece. Let me see if I can find a good view. Because you see how it's a circular part at base, right? So if you started with this, I believe SolidWorks still does, is that you start off with kind of like a 2D sketch view. You make a line down the middle, and then you use a revolve feature by making the profile on the outside that you need, and then you just revolve that, then you have your base shape. Things like that, just, you know, super simple. A lot of profile making. There's a lot of 2D process that goes into making these shapes. The screws here that I have, I believe these were from the toolbox. Yep, number 5-40. Uh, the SolidWorks toolbox is a very amazing tool to have. It takes, you know, a lot of work out of making the screws and the hardware that you need. We got these hot and cold tabs, same thing. Remember there being a text option in SolidWorks that you could use, and then you can use that as a cut extrusion profile. So if you just make the text and center it, and it's very simple to use a cut extrude on. The shape on that is very simple as well. I mean, you start with your tab here, which again, you can make a revolve feature using the profile. So make just like a rectangle with your radius on the outside from your center line, and then revolve around the center, and that gets you your main shape. And then here there's like I did a fancy extrude and cut extrude, extruded the cylinder, and then I kind of cut out by putting in the angles and dimensions I need to make those parts. Those little tabs at the end. All the O-rings are all revolve features too. They're very, very simple. This part here, once again, same thing. Another revolve feature. Centerline you can't see because it was part of the 2D sketch when you first made the part. But just going and making the triangular lines makes this super simple to build instead of just building it off an extrusion. Using that profile and revolve feature is a favorite of mine for any circular type part. Anywhere where there's like two-face symmetry, I guess. Same thing with the faucet head. This whole thing was one huge profile I made. So the center line kind of bends up and around. And then the outside is just a rectangle and some geometry that I made. So I had to make the circles for the interior in the 2D sketch. Down towards the bottom, this collar here is just kind of like a triangle that kind of goes in and comes back out to make that that collar for that O-ring, which you should have the dimensions for if you're making this part in particular. So again, a lot of revolve feature work kind of simplifies things. And, you know, a lot of people kind of underutilize revolve and kind of stick to extrudes, but you're not going to be able to do this with the regular extrudes. And then using there used to be a feature where you just created a line and it kind of created the tube. You don't want to do that either because you're not going to be able to get this geometry, and going back in is just going to be a pain in the ass. So this whole thing here was just a huge profile that I made, even down to here, up until the threads. I mean, really everything is just one huge follow this line revolve feature profile up until I had to do the threads. So again, just utilizing your 2Ds as much as you can when you have those circular objects where you can use the revolve feature. The grates here, I believe I made the outside circle, and then I can't remember if there was a feature for making this grid or not. I can't remember if I just did the really painstaking thing of cutting these squares out or not. I don't know. But yeah, again, the spacers, another just simple revolve feature, or a extrude in that case. I mean, it's a very simple extrude if you just make the circle extrude and then make the circle cutaway in the center. But again, you can kind of see where we got her. When I make these, you can see how it's pretty much just like a bunch of squares cut out of this thing with certain lines through it. And I think I'm starting to remember. I just made a whole bunch of lines and then dimensioned all off, and then just highlighted a bunch of cuts to make it the same time. So again, just even the simplest processes, even though it might sound dumb or You might think there's a better way to do it. I mean, if you can't figure out a really complicated way, a really advanced mechanic to do it, and you're running out of time, especially for a class, you have to do the simple thing. I'm telling you right now, in practice in the real world, people are using the most simple method to get it done. Remember, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. But yeah, other than that, like I said, just really utilize your 2D profiles for any circular parts where you can, where it's simple. And then, your loft feature, don't forget the loft feature for this part here to make these more conical shapes. And I think you guys will be fine. Like I said, don't overcomplicate it. I know school and things can be stressful. Just, keep your head up, keep working at it, and it only gets better from here. So this is probably my last video, unless some miracle happens and I post other content. But I wish you guys well, and see you sometime.